Hey guys, it's Gina. So, remember when I said that I wanted to start, I had these fall change resolutions, and one of them was to get into the kitchen and start experimenting a little bit more. And another one was to just have a little bit more time for myself. So, I'm making a change. My videos are going to push out on Saturday mornings because what I would normally do is I would record my video on Saturday afternoon and let's see if I can get this to get in focus. I would record them on Saturday afternoon, and then by the time you have to do all the, getting it loaded up and then into YouTube and everything like that, it would not push out until Sunday evening a lot of times. So what I'm doing is I'm recording midweek sometime. And so I decided that if I'm living the whole chasing your sunsets life, that means that every day I need to have a little bit of time for me somewhere, somehow, something. So today I made pumpkin ice cream. Okay. Now, a lot of people who do a whole food plant-based diet do what's called nice cream, which is with bananas. Ooh, I don't like bananas. I'll eat a banana if it's in its whole state, but there is something about a mushed up, creamed up banana that I cannot take. It changes the taste to me. It's not just a texture thing, because it just changes the taste. And I don't really like bananas anyway, so that's not, I'd have to be really hungry to be like, yeah, I'll take a banana. But for some reason, if you mush it up like in a blender or something, there's no freaking way. So I don't like it that way. So I made pumpkin ice cream. And it's really good. But I did make a mistake in it. So I'm going to, when I post the recipe, I'm going to post a recipe that will actually work. Because it's, I tried a new fruit sweetener called monk fruit. And unfortunately, what I have found is that a lot of monk fruit sweeteners are actually adulterated where they're not true monk fruit. And so I've tried some and they were just amazing. And that was actually, I'm going to do some more research because I don't know all the details about monk fruit. I have not become an expert on monk fruit yet. But what I did try from my local natural grocers in their bulk bin section, it was perfect. It had no aftertaste. It was just like powdered sugar without the acidic flavor. If you haven't eaten sugar in a long time, if you do eat sugar, it's very acidic and you will not like it. And so that was my original idea, to make frosting on cookies using monk fruit as the powdered sugar, and then using different fruits and vegetables to dye them. And like drizzle it on there and kind of make it into an icing. I'm still got some other ideas that I'm going to try, but what I did is I went on Amazon and I got, and I don't have the package with me, but it's just 100% monk fruit. And it's not as white, which that should have been my first clue when I bought it in the bulk as well. And because there's very few fruits that are like stark white. And it has a bitter aftertaste. So when I made my pumpkin ice cream, which is actually still good, it just has that aftertaste, but it's still good. It's still pumpkin. What I did is I used part monk fruit and then part date syrup. What I'm going to do when I make it again, I'm going to leave out the monk fruit and just use date syrup because I know that I like the date syrup. But this is what I used. I used this, which is Elmhurst milked cashews unsweetened. Now, their ingredients, which it also says it's not a low-calorie food, because I do believe it, filtered water and cashews. And so that was, you know, this one's the empty carton I just emptied. Elmhurst has some other, like they had an almond, they have an oat, they have some other flavors, but I wanted cashews because cashews are so rich. And when you're trying to make an ice cream, especially when it's whole food plant-based like this, because you're using a non-milk milk and it doesn't have a lot of fat in it, then it can turn into like ice milk instead of ice cream. And so when it's first made, it's good. It's like a soft serve. But if you have any left over and you put it in the freezer, why does this keep going out of focus? I don't know. It's my glamour shots. That's what I need. It's out of focus. But when you put it in the freezer, what it does is it just kind of, let's see if I can move this. Let's try that. We'll just try this a little bit more. See if maybe that works better. I don't know. But anyway, when you put it in the freezer, what it does is it just kind of makes it where it like gets a little crystally. And it's rock hard. So you always have to let it sit out for a few minutes before you can kind of chisel it out. That didn't help any. Sorry. It's going to just be fuzzy. It's my glamour shots for fall. So go from that. Anyway, so I use this milked cashews and from Elmhurst. And then I used just a can of pumpkin. This is not pumpkin pie. It is just pumpkin. Now this happens to be Sprouts brand. I've also bought other brands. I think even Libby makes like just a pumpkin, but there are two that Libby make. One is a pumpkin pie filling and one is pumpkin. So you do want to just check the ingredients and it should just say pumpkin. I don't know if you can read that. So make sure you get just the pumpkin. Then I added some vanilla and I used ground up vanilla powder. I added some cinnamon, a little bit of clove, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of nutmeg. So I basically make a pumpkin pie spice, but I just made it myself by adding that stuff in there. The only thing I didn't probably include that the pumpkin pie spice does include is allspice. So you could just use a pumpkin pie spice if you have that on hand, but I always have the individuals. So I just, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Probably about like 1 teaspoon of vanilla and 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, maybe 3, because they were kind of heaping. And then like a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon of clove and a 1/4 of a teaspoon of nutmeg and ginger. So that was pretty much what I did. I used about a tablespoon of the monk fruit and probably just about 2 tablespoons of date syrup. So I would say up to a 1/4 cup of date syrup would be a good starting point, depending on how sweet you like things. Since I don't eat sugar, we tend to not like it very sweet to start with, so it's more semi-sweet. But all I did, poured everything into a high-speed blender, blended it up until smooth, and then I have an ice cream maker that you freeze the bowl and then it just spins around. You plug it in on your cabinet and you pour your mixture in. It just spins around and mixes it up. I will try to, I've had this, it was given to me as a gift several years ago. I love this thing. It makes great soft serve style ice cream, but I will try to find, I believe it's Cuisinart, so I will find a link on Amazon and post it below for you so that way you can, possibly do this. I have also taken juice and like real juice, like I've juiced it, and just it works best if you chill your ingredients first, and then it only takes about 15 minutes to make ice cream. And so it works best if you chill them. And I will just take juice and chill it, and then I will, like a strawberry juice or something with some apple juice or whatever you're wanting, and make a sorbet. So it makes sorbets, it makes like a soft serve ice cream, really super great. So during the week, I took a good 30 minutes of my life to pour these ingredients in my high-speed blender, go blend it up. That just took a couple of minutes. Then I put it in the ice cream thing. That took about 15 minutes, but it's not like I'm sitting there the whole time. I just did it while we were eating dinner. And then I get a bowl of, I got a whole bunch of ice cream, but I'm eating a bowl of ice cream. and it's pumpkin. It's fall pumpkin. So totally, totally love it. I'm super excited. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this is because, I did the video about the change resolutions. So I have all these things that I want to do, and they're in my head. And unfortunately, I was thinking about how the fact is that you get like 20 things and they start to get overwhelming because they're things you want to do. Like I have some crafting, for a better word, ingredients, accessories to make a wreath. They're still sitting in the bag. I just need to get it all put together. It probably wouldn't take me even an hour. I just haven't found the time to do it. I have a couple of baskets that I bought for an armoire that I wanted to put the baskets in there as like a drawer, but all I could find was Barney pink or purple or whatever color that was, and there's no way. So I also bought some chalk paint and I've spray painted, but I only got part of it done because I ran out of chalk paint, so I had to order some more chalk paint. And so it's like, that's kind of sitting over my head now. I've got these other two baskets that I need to just take 15 minutes to go put them outside, be done with it, let them dry for a couple hours, and then they're done. So I am making a list. And so this is how I'm getting through my overwhelmed mental to-do list. And this isn't even stuff I have to do. It's the stuff I'm wanting to do. So I'm making a list of what these things are, and I am actually taking that and analyzing, like, okay, I can do this while everyone's asleep. I can do this when I'm doing this or this or this. So I kind of clump them together, and I find 10 or 15 minutes, and most of the stuff, like making ice cream, took about 30 minutes, and that's from start to cleanup. I mean, the blender's washed, the ice cream maker's washed, everything's done, because it just didn't take that long to blend it, put it in there, let it do its thing, and then put it in a bowl, and then wash everything. And so, but, it's been hanging over my head for the last, 2 weeks, because I knew I wanted to make this ice cream. I'm like, oh, I want to make ice cream. Oh, I want to make ice cream. Oh, I want to make ice cream. And I didn't. And I'm like, what am I doing? This is chasing my sunset. Even though the monk fruit didn't work out so well for me, I'm okay with that because it's still good and I'll still eat it and life is fine. But I got to have ice cream and it's midweek. So, long day of doing whatever I'm doing and then take 30 minutes in the evening to do something that, kind of fills my love cup. And my daughter helped. She likes to push the button on the blender. So it was kind of a team effort there. She pushed the button on the ice cream maker to make it start going round and round. And then she sat there and was watching it go round and round. And then we went to go sit down and start dinner. And then about a few minutes into it, I was like, oh, that sounds different. And I got up and it was ready. So I just moved it to the bowl and set it over there and then finished eating dinner and then washed all the dishes and life was great. So it's not a big deal. And it's, so you can still chase your sunset during the week and you can try new things during the week. And sometimes they're a fail. Sometimes they're just not that good. I mean, this is not my favorite. And I have some more of the ingredients to make pumpkin ice cream. I don't know if I will keep what I've made so much. I may not keep all of it. I'm going to eat this, because it's not that bad. But I know it would be better if I just use the date syrup. So next time, I'll just use the date syrup. But I'll post the recipe below whenever I post this recipe. And I made this recipe up. So this is a Gina original. So feel free to not follow it directly and just kind of make it up as you go because that's how I cook. That's how I do things. So it's not about being precise. It's not about being perfect. It's just about having some pumpkin ice cream on a Thursday evening. And it is good. A little bit of an aftertaste though with that monk fruit. But it's also about chasing your sunset. So have a great week. And I will see you next week. Bye.